Benfiquista, é onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só. O Cantinho Benfiquista, é onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to episode 223 of Cantinho Benfiquista podcast. As always, I am your host. I am Mike. I'm joined by Bill and Jason for this episode, which is Decision Day in Madrid. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about after 100 and something minutes of football today. But as always, I will start from left to right. Bill, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Was hoping for a better result at home, but the tie is still open, so there's still hope.
There's still hope. Jason, how are you feeling?
Good. How's everything? Game kind of sucked, but we'll talk more about it later on.
We'll get into it. As always, for those of you who are tuning in, feel free to join us in conversation. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Instagram. Leave us your comments, your thoughts, your feedback, your opinions, your frustrations, your annoyances, your beliefs, your conspiracy theories. You name it, give it to us. And as always, please don't hesitate, or we'd appreciate if you could just leave us a like, share, follow, subscribe, do all those fun things on all the various platforms so we can reach more people. But we like to make this interactive, and I think there's a lot to talk about today, so I'm sure everyone's going to have varying opinions. I do ask, given the situation that occurred in the game, which we will touch on, I do ask that you please try to be respectful of other people, of other opinions. I don't want to see racial comments or abuse in the comments. You will get blocked. You will get restricted from the page, whatever platform it is. We respect everyone's opinion, everyone's views. We all think differently. We all see things differently. But we do ask that you do it in a respectful manner, just like we will. We will share our thoughts. We will be level-headed. We will be neutral. We will share our opinions from a respectful perspective, but we do ask that everyone refrains from making a comment or having an opinion that might be controversial or might not be respectful of other people. I will say that before we get started, and then para a malta que esteja bem em português, participem aqui nesta nossa conversa. Todos percebemos e falamos português, por isso podemos abordar as vossas questões, as vossas opiniões. Falem connosco sobre o jogo, o que é que aconteceu, o que é que acharam da exibição, da equipa, do árbitro, o que é que aconteceu no jogo, com Prestiani e Veni, os adeptos. Por isso, juntem-se a nós, participem aqui nesta nossa conversa e façam com que isto seja uma conversa interativa convosco desse lado. E deixem-nos saber que estão aí e que estão a participar aqui. I got a comment from Mike De Silva on Instagram. Why does Rafa see the field today? Not only the field, but the start. We'll talk about that. There's a lot of divided opinions on that as well. But Benfica loses in the first leg at home against Real Madrid 0-1 in a game that will start with the starting 11. So starting 11, I'm not going to lie. I'm not entirely surprised that we saw the 11 that we saw. Trubin started in the back. In goal, Dal, Otamendi, Araújo, and Dedic. Dedic comes back after being out for 3 or 4 games. Auschwitz comes back in alongside Barreiro, and then front four of Sheldrup, Rafa, Prestiani, and Pavlidis. Bill, I know that you had some opinions, and I told you that I would save my thoughts on this for the podcast just because I didn't want to unload everything at the time, I'll ask you, and Jay, feel free to jump in as he's talking about this 11. I want to make sure that we're fluid and interactive and not just waiting our turns. What were your surprises from this 11 apart from Rafa? Did anything else surprise you?
No, I mean, once we heard Dedic and Freddie were fully fit, cleared to play, I 100% expected them to start. I don't necessarily have an issue or wasn't really surprised with the Rafa start. Like I understand the thought process behind it, right? Real's going to have the majority of the possession. We're going to have to hit quick and take advantage of the counter. And with Rafa in over Dedic or over Sudakov, you gain a lot. You gain a lot of pace going forward. You don't get the ball playing midfielder like Sudakov is. You get essentially a striker. So you're playing with pretty much two up top. So I get the thought process with it. My only issue is once the game kind of started playing out and we saw how Real was defending, because their formation was different than from was it 2 weeks ago now? It was 2 weeks ago they had Valverde playing right back. So when they had the ball, he was essentially playing midfield like we used to do with Freddie. So when we hit on the counter, we were hitting with only 3 defenders back there. Valverde was tracking back a ton, whereas today they played with 4 legit defenders. Valverde, 3 legit midfielders, 2 winger. Like they just came out and just played a normal standard formation, and we're defending with essentially just 2 blocks of 4, and they let Vinny and Mbappe just chill up top. And then when that happens, Rafa's pace is thrown out the window. Like we're not countering we're not countering with as many numbers as we were the first game because they're sitting deeper with more players back. And then when we have smaller spaces, Rafa can't really operate in those tiny spaces, creating those little give and goes and flicks. And it's not what he does. And Sudakov, that's where he sits. Like when we watched him play, when he came in, he was sitting in those areas trying to create those spaces in between lines. I don't think he came in great. But again, coming in with the game where it was and the way things were going, it's not the easiest to come in and impact a game like this. But I mean, to talk about the
you're muted.
Sorry. So my question to you then, you guys know I'm not a big Sudakov guy. What would have Sudakov done, or what do you think he would have brought to the start of the game? Because he has shown us nothing.
Dude, the last 4 games he's been playing really well.
I disagree.
I'll give you my.
I'll just say I'll disagree with that. I just think that the lineup was what I expected. I thought Rafa played decent. Wasn't the greatest game that he had. He had some runs in there in the midfield. Made some plays on the wing to Dedic. There was some passes that he could have made a little bit better overall. But I'm sorry. I kind of disagree with the whole starting Sudakov because to me he hasn't proved shit. Not a fan of him. I think so far, I mean, he could prove me wrong, but he's turning into a Koksu 2.0 for me. And Koksu to me, and especially in his first season, was a complete waste. And Sudakov to me so far, he hasn't really proven anything. And I'm not saying Rafa had a great game, but Sudakov, every game that I've seen Sudakov play, he hasn't really been involved in the game. He always has his back to the back. That's how the teams play him, right? They make him have his back to the net and try to play the ball back. I mean, that's how I see it. That's just my opinion.
Fair, all fair points. And we've got some comments coming in, so keep them coming. Keep us engaged here. We got Jota on Instagram says that Rafa played today. Jota, já é tarde aí desse lado. Não me digas que ainda vais a caminho de Braga. Mas se vais bem acompanhado connosco aqui em conversa e a ver se vais com cuidado. But my thoughts on the Rafa thing is I understand the thought process behind it, obviously, right? You've got a guy that is what Rafa brings to the table is he's going to give you a press off the ball, right? Which is what Mourinho likes, right? If we want to press, you got Barreiro that can press, you've got Rafa that can press, Pavlidis that can press, and then you've got guys like Prestiani and Sheldrup that have the pace. They just got to pick and choose when they press. So Rafa's going to give you that ability. Rafa's going to give you the option to play it in behind the space, which Real Madrid's not going to come in and sit deep. If you notice, at times, basically they had Huijsen and Rudiger sitting at the top of the center circle on an hour and a half. And in a situation like that, if we could have gotten the ball and taken advantage of that space in behind, that's where Rafa is going to give you your biggest bang for your buck. He's capable of picking up the ball in our midfield or further up in our midfield and going at defenders, getting fouls, beating guys one-on-one, right? On the other side of that, well, before I switch to the Sudakov side, he's able to get into the box. He gives you goals, something that, unfortunately, Sudakov isn't confident enough to give us. He's shown in his career that he can give you goals outside the box and inside the box, but he hasn't shown us that consistently since he's been at Benfica. On the flip side of that, what can Sudakov give you that Rafa can't give you? Sudakov can give you possession, ball at his feet. He can slow the play down. He can speed the play up. He's very good at deciding when we need to go, when we need to sit, when we need to keep the ball. He's able to play vertical passes. Rafa can't play a vertical pass, right? That's not what you're going to get out of Rafa. He can burn lines with a vertical pass, which Rafa can't give you. He's going to be a little bit more creative than Rafa can be, right? But he's not going to give you the press. He's not going to help you press like Rafa will. He's going to help you defend in deep in our midfield, which you don't want Rafa doing. Can Rafa do it? Probably. He's not as physical, but you don't want him doing that because you want to take advantage of the speed. Unfortunately, today, Benfica wasn't able to take advantage of the 45 yards behind Rudiger and Huijsen more often than not, because the times that they were in our half, we couldn't get the ball in possession and play that ball over the top. Am I surprised that Rafa started? No. Did he have a good game? I don't think so. Did he have a couple of moments? Yeah. But to say, I know it's easy to say in hindsight to say Sudakov should have started or Sudakov could have given us more. Right? It's easier for us to say that. Just like we could have said if Sudakov started and he didn't have a good game and then Rafa comes in and makes it different. Like, that's an easy hypothetical situation to discuss. But ultimately, I'm not surprised. I think the game plan was to try to use that on the counterattack in transitions, and we just weren't able to take advantage of transitions like we did in the game where we won 4-2 a few weeks ago. And because of that, I think, in my opinion, our front four was nearly useless for most of the game. Pavlidis wasn't getting the ball, right? And then Prestiani, like every time he got the ball, he made the wrong decision. I felt like every pass he made was the wrong pass. Every decision, he'd try to go one-on-one when he could have passed, he'd lose it. His crosses just weren't right. Like everything he did today just felt like was off. He was putting in the effort. It's just effort's not enough, right? You need, just like Barreiro, I thought had a lot of effort, but he had a lot of moments where he like just made stupid decisions. Where
you can see it when he has the
come
ball at
out,
his feet.
He would run like 15 yards and then he'd like run into someone and lose it. And I'm just like, just fucking lay it off. What are you doing? So just to quickly close off on the Rafa and Sudakov thing, I'm not surprised that he started. Did he have an impact as much as I think we thought and Mo would have expected? No. But do I think he's going to start at the Bernabeu because of the way we're going to set up? I think 1,000% he's going to set up the same way because, again, that's a game that he's going to try to hit in transition. I don't know if you guys
100%.
want to add anything to that, Jay.
I don't know how he's going to play it, to be honest. I mean, he might do the same strategy. He might not, but it's a different ball game over there in Madrid. But I don't know. I haven't seen anything from Sudakov. I'm not a Sudakov fan, so
And that's fair. That's fair.
Back him up one bit.
No, he hasn't, conquered the world.
And by the way, I'm not a Rafa guy. You guys know that. I'm not a Rafa guy whatsoever.
I know.
I'm just letting you guys know I'm not a Rafa guy. It's just
he's a born again Rafa fan.
I haven't seen shit from Sudakov. So until
that's fair. That's a fair comment. Mike De Silva says Rafa was so lazy and careless, failed multiple times to turn the ball with face the open field. Instead, would receive and distribute a negative pass. Super frustrating. O Red Baron says, no meu tempo, Mozart Fernando Couto não dizia nada racista, mas na próxima jogada o Vini tinha ligamento rebentado ou uma perna partida.
For damn fucking
true,
dude.
I mean, eram tempos diferentes em que dizias tudo e mais alguma coisa, infelizmente, mas, como dizes, na próxima jogada limpavam-no todo. Tipo Paulinho Santos, era uma entrada aos joelhos e já não se levantava mais. Mas já vamos tocar nesse assunto. Rui says, decent, Rafa was non-existent. He says, Jason's hitting the edibles hard again. For someone to say is a he said, she said thing, shows how dumb people are. We'll touch on that, Joaquin. Let's see what else we got here. Hopefully Mourinho is going to say something and not hide behind Benfica directors. He did say... He said a lot after, which we'll talk about. Let's see what else we got here. Let's hear what Prestiani says. Prestiani also made a comment, which I will read shortly once we get to that topic. In terms of the game, and keep those comments coming. We appreciate it. In terms of the game, Jay, what did you think of the game in itself? I thought there was two games in the game. There was a game up to the goal, and then there was a game, if you want to call it a game, after the goal.
Yeah. So I thought Benfica started the game off really well overall. I think up until like the 30th or 35th minute, we were kind of doing a really good job going back and forth with Real Madrid.
Yep.
Towards the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, first half, Madrid started putting more pressure. We were struggling. We were hoping for that halftime whistle.
Yeah, couldn't get out.
Luckily, we did. We got it. We got out of there 0-0 because it could have ended up bad. But Pape had a couple shots, I believe. I think Vinny had one.
Yep.
But overall, I thought Benfica's best player was Dedic overall, in my opinion. He was kind of locking down Vinny in the beginning and going forward really well. But overall, after that goal happened, the drama happened. And to me, the game kind of fell apart. It just started... Like, I don't know. I kind of lost. I was watching the game, but when there's controversy, something like this happens in the game, it's just kind of tough. And I thought many calls didn't go Benfica's way. I'm not going to sit here and complain about the rest, but I thought that the French players in Real Madrid got away with a lot of stuff. Could have been a second yellow for Vinny. Cantinho, I think his name is. He could have had a couple of yellows in the game. He stepped on Barreiro's face.
Yep.
So there was a few things.
Valverde's
punch right in front of the referee. I don't understand what the hell what's VAR doing there. Mourinho got pissed, got let go, which kind of ruins the game back in Madrid because Mourinho gives us, at least I think he gives us that little. That's the advantage that we have over Real Madrid is our coaching, I would say. But overall, like you said, it was a game of two halves. I think the game kind of got ruined for me once all that drama started happening, which I don't condone. And we can, like I said, we can discuss more about it after. But like you said, it was a game of two halves. I thought Benfica played well for the first 35, 40 minutes. And then after that, it was kind of like we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Bill, what would you add to that?
No, I agree. I think to start, we couldn't have asked for a better start, right? I think we came out well, pressing well, getting the ball, holding it, weren't rushing into the attack. Like we were just controlling the game. And then, like Jay said, that those last 10 minutes in the first half, you saw when Real turned the screws up. We felt it, and I think in that first half, a lot of their chances that were getting created were coming down our left side. So like Dahl, a ton of times, dude, caught sleeping, like balls getting in from in behind. Like it was frustrating on that side because it's just everything kept going back that way, and Trent just playing those passes in to I think it was Valverde that kept making that run, that back put that run to the back.
Mueller kept getting in there too.
Yeah. That caused us all sorts of issues. I agree with Jason. I think we were lucky to get out of that half at 0-0. Mbappe had a shot. I mean, Trubin made three huge saves
2 nice saves, yeah.
with like a ton of
And
traffic
Courtois
in front
makes
of
one
him.
big save too.
Yeah.
Dude, that save was stupid.
The one on Freddie.
That's
Yeah.
what happens when you're like fucking 8 feet tall.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I was holding my daughter and I was like, oh,
Dude, not many goalies get down that quick to get to that. And
Correct.
Unbelievable.
And he's going the
All
other
the
way.
Yeah. And then I think the goal celebration, the scuffle, the controversy, I think that the game was stopped for like 10,
12
minutes.
Pretty much.
Which is crazy. He gave 12 minutes of stoppage time. The game itself was stopped for about 10.
Yeah.
With
easily.
substitutions and everything, he
Yeah.
basically gave 2 minutes of stoppage, which is absolutely fucking wild.
And there was still a lot more drama during the game. You got Mourinho, him running
Correct.
all the way to the
Right,
sideline,
right,
doing
all
what he
that,
was
yeah.
And
at.
even during the stoppage time, there was a bunch of like time wasting too.
Exactly.
And he gave like an extra minute.
Yeah, and I think so after all that stuff, the game lost its rhythm. I mean, Real clearly were fine with the result. They just sat back. They didn't really push much. From that point on, it was long ball for them. They were just played up into space for Vinny and Mbappe. And unfortunately for us, there was a period there, maybe 5-10 minutes, where we looked all right, and he brought on Sudakov, brought on Rios, and there was a span there for a bit where we looked all right, and then unfortunately we couldn't. What do you say?
I said not because of Sudakov.
No, I mean none of the subs. I don't think any of the subs had a big impact on the game. Daldi came in. Daldi came in, didn't do much. Cabral came in, didn't really do much. Like, I mean, it's tough. And when the game's out of rhythm like that, and you're chasing a result, it's tough as a sub to come on and make any kind of impact. So I mean, it was a game of two halves, right? I think it's that first half and the goal, and then everything after that goal, I think, was a completely different game, out of rhythm. One side not really wanting to play, the other side having to chase. I mean, questionable decisions by the ref. Game had everything. Literally hit your bingo card. You probably hit bingo like 3 or 4 times.
It did have everything. It did have everything. We'll talk. Brian Chop on Instagram says 3 different goal celebrations from Vinny against Benfica, small guy mentality. We'll touch on that. And there's a bunch of different questions and comments about it in the chat. So we're going to get to that shortly. I just wanted to give my thoughts on the game in itself. I thought the first half was 15 initial minutes. Benfica was really good. 15 minutes of, I thought both teams entered into a chess match of, just like Jay said, of Benfica would have 2-3 minutes of possession in the offense. Real Madrid would come and have 2, but neither side was really on edge. And then the final 15 minutes, it was Real Madrid's, and Benfica was just, we couldn't get the fucking ball out. It was like, just kick it to wherever the fuck you can. And we were under the pressure. We were drinking from the fire hose, and we couldn't figure out how the hell to get out. I think, the fact that we didn't concede in those final 15 minutes. I mean, Vinny and Mbappe have a link-up play down our right side where Mbappe hits it left-footed and hits it over the net, which is a pretty clear opportunity, or at least to hit the target. Trubin, like we said, has 1 or 2 nice saves. And then on the other side, Courtois has that massive save. So could we have gone into the half losing? We could have. Could we have gone into the half 1-1? I think, based on my analysis of the initial 15 for Benfica, 15 divided and 15 for Real Madrid, I think a 1-1 wouldn't have been absurd. I think maybe would have been a little bit unjust to go down losing, go into the half losing. So 1-1 or 0-0 at halftime, I think overall, I think is just. Second half, I thought we started okay. And then the goal is what, in the 50th minute or something like that? 51st?
49th.
Yeah, 49th, 50th minute. So, from that moment on is where things change. And I'm not going to get into that situation yet. Just kind of my thoughts in terms of the game after that. A lot of stoppages. And I felt like that stoppage played exactly into what Real Madrid wanted because they had the lead. They had the stadium, just absolutely stressed the fuck out, which I'll talk about in a bit. And then you had a team that you could tell was playing more with their heart than their head at certain moments in those final 40 minutes. And then with every time Mbappe touched the ball, every time Vinny touched the ball, there was just so much shit going on. Not to mention, like we said, the plays where Valverde sucker punches Dahl, that should have been a red card. You have, for me, the second yellow card to Vinny is just absolutely astonishing how he
the
doesn't
ref
get a
is
yellow
like
card there
3 yards
when he
away,
takes out
too.
Rios, right? He takes out Rios for that free kick.
The funny thing is, the foul happened right after.
Same
Against
exact.
Vinny. Exact same foul. We got a yellow.
He got a yellow
Same
card.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exact same
Again,
foul.
and as much as we want to say, there's people that always make jokes about Barcelona, UEFA Lona, and all this stuff. And unfortunately, just like in the Portuguese league or any other league where the bigger clubs get the benefit of the doubt, I think today was pretty clear cut
100%.
for anyone to see how it works in Europe. And Joaquin was saying in the comments how he wanted to hear from Mourinho. I mean, if you listen to his flash and his press conference after, he didn't hold back, which is surprising because UEFA typically doesn't fuck around with suspensions and fines and shit like that.
He's already out for the next game.
Right, but you typically want to be cautious. He didn't care. I mean, he came out and said, listen, this coach, this ref clearly had an agenda of Hoylson, Carreras, and I think it was Tchouaméni can't get a yellow card because if they do, they miss the next game. Ironically, Carreras has an embarrassing flop, doesn't get a yellow card, and then he gives a yellow card to Prestiani, which was a flop in my opinion, but it wasn't as embarrassing as Carreras' flop, and he gets a yellow card, and Carreras didn't get a yellow card in the first half.
This is what I
go ahead.
This is what I don't understand with, because it happens in the Portuguese league as well. Like someone will dive trying to get the call. Ref doesn't call it a foul, so clearly the ref thinks it's a dive, which is the yellow card offense, yet they don't hand it out.
Correct.
Like you almost never see it unless, like in Prestiani's case, it's very rare that you see a yellow card handed for a dive. But by the letter of the law, if you simulate a foul, it is a yellow card.
Exactly. And Carreras was
double standard.
I went back and looked at it, and Carreras was like
way
embarrassing,ly
way.
Prestiani's I thought was a dive, but he's at least got the guy there and forces a little bit of the contact. Carreras just jumps and falls.
Yeah.
So again, I think today was just a clear demonstration of just how much the badge weighs in certain situations in Europe. I mean, you can argue the Vinny one, right? Which I don't think you can really argue much, right? He's got a yellow card. Rios is about to strike that ball outside the box, and he fouls him. Like, if that's not a yellow card, I don't know what a yellow card is. But the Valverde one, there's no explanation that UEFA can give that can justify how that game isn't stopped by VAR and that play isn't reviewed and he isn't sent off, because I mean, he blatantly punches him, slaps him, whatever you want to call it.
Dude, the broadcast shows the replay like seconds after the foul.
Correct.
Like, it wasn't even like they came back to it. It happened, Dahl went down, and they showed the replay. And then they cut back to the live broadcast, and it's a throw in. And it's like, wait. How does this work?
So it's just it's frustrating. But unfortunately, we've been watching this long enough where you know that in certain situations, we saw it last year or 2 years ago. I think it was last year, Barcelona at Stade de Luz, where we ended up losing 5-4, right, with Barreiro, right? Like, we've seen it time and time, and not just for Benfica. We've seen it for other clubs against bigger European giants where, again, there's more value. As much as people want to say, oh, it's not fit, there's more value to see a Barcelona, a Real Madrid into the next stages than there is for a Benfica or a Bodo Glimt or a Galatasaray, right? They smashed Juve today, right? But like, there's just more value in those bigger clubs because they're going to generate more value. They're going to generate more money. They're going to generate more sponsorship, more attention. That's just the reality of it. Now, I guess before I get to the hot topic of the game, let me just see some of these comments here. He talks about Mbappe. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Mike says, yes, I think there's a difference between diving and asking for a foul and don't ask. Valverde was a straight up sucker punch. It was. So I'm curious to see what UEFA comes out and says about that. Like maybe the VAR had to go to the bathroom and he missed it. He stepped away and he didn't get a chance to see the replay. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of justification you can give here, but to the moment of the game, unfortunately, which absolutely turned this game on its head and just changed the dynamic of the game for both teams and for the fans. Vinny does what Vinny does. There's people that were at the stadium that told me that even during warm-ups, he was making comments and interacting with the crowd, instigating and kind of stirring the pot. He scores that goal, which is an absolute fucking worldie. I mean, cuts inside, puts it in the top corner. I mean, you can't ask for a better goal. I mean, if Benfica is going to lose, I mean, you might as well lose to one of those goals, right? It wasn't something that you fucked up. It wasn't a shitty goal. It wasn't a bounce. It was like, you got to tip your cap to that, right? It was a beautiful strike. He earned it. You walk away and you fight for the next one. Guy scores that goal and he just chooses to fire up a stadium full of a record crowd ever at that stadium, 66,000 people. And he went over to the flag, did what he did, comes over, ref speaks to him. He then walks towards the fans, grabs his shirt, starts doing more shit. Fans starting to get fired up, and then he ends up getting a yellow card. And at that point, he comes over. Arda Güler is coming over, but at that moment, it's him, Prestiani, and Camavinga. I watched the video back. Mbappe is about 5 to 8 feet away from him towards the center circle. Arda Güler is probably the closest, but he's not in the frame. Camavinga is about 2 feet away. Prestiani covers his mouth. We don't know what he said. Vini says he made a racial slur, made a racial comment. Prestiani came out and said he didn't make a racial comment. He must have misunderstood him, whatever. And then the chaos ensued. Vinny goes and talks to the ref, says he made a racial slur. They call the game. They stop it. Interruption, 10, 12 minutes. Mourinho talks to him. There's chaos on the bench. Just all hell breaks loose. And again, I'm going to ask you guys for your thoughts. I'll share my thoughts as well. But I just want to reiterate what I said at the beginning, which is it's a sensitive subject. We respect everyone's opinions, everyone's views. We just ask that in the comments, if you can't refrain from having a respectful comment and a respectful view on this situation, don't put a comment. If you do have something that is disrespectful, is racist, we will block you. We will report your comment. So I do ask that you don't make us do that. This is an open debate. Again, we respect everyone's views and opinions. I just ask that you be respectful and an adult about it. Bill, I'll start with you. What do you make of this whole situation?
So I think there's two things we can kind of discuss here, right? There's Vinny's celebration and excessive celebrating, and then there's the incident, right? Because I think two very different things. Vinny with the excessive celebration, like you scored, celebrate. I think Mourinho even said it. You scored, celebrate, great goal. Like it's going back two more times after the initial celebration. Like that's uncalled for. Like there's a respect in the game, and Vinny time and time again is one that tends to cross that line. That I took issue with, right? Him going back, initial celebration, whatever, goes back, It goes back again. Like, okay, once is enough, dude. Like, cut the shit, get back, play on. Now what happened after that? Again, we don't know what was said. If what Vinny's saying was said, unacceptable. Like, no ifs and about it. Prisciani fined, suspended, not just by UEFA. I think if it comes out that like proof that what it was said, Benfica 100% has to come in, and it's like not like a little 2-game, like it's a hefty fine, like set a statement, set a standard. This isn't accepted. End it right there and then. Now this whole everyone else coming out and saying, like Mbappe coming out and said he heard it 5 times. Like, dude, no shot. Like we've seen the video. You're
not next to
legit
him.
Like 10. He's like 10 yards away. He's not hearing it. The one to me that can potentially have heard anything would have been Camavinga, because he's right there.
Correct.
And I've seen a ton of. I mean, you go to Twitter. That's all there is replays of this. Not one of them shows Camavinga reacting.
Correct.
Like reacting to it. So like, I don't know. It's hard to think Vinny would make it up. But again, I don't know, dude. It's just a city situation. Sucks for the kid because there's no one knows what was said, but his name and image are going to get run through the mud. If he said it, then it's well deserved. If he didn't say it and Vinny is making it up to whatever, then like shitty on Vinny. But again, it's an unfortunate circumstance that has no place in the game. Ruined what could have been a great night, another epic Champions League night. It decided to lose because it was shaping up in that way, right? 1-0 down, anything's like it's still open.
Yep.
But that incident clearly killed the game, kind of ruined any kind of flow, and it's unfortunate, not acceptable, but it sucks, dude. It sucks.
Jay, what's your thoughts? What would you add? And then I'll share my thoughts.
So I'm kind of reading these comments from Joaquin Oliveira, and I'm really like lost for like how he's thinking. First of all, I'm gonna say I don't know what happened. Obviously, I wasn't there. I think it was a disgraceful part of the game. If it's true, I would say kick him out of the team. If it's not true, regardless, his name is going to be run through the mud for the rest of his life. And that could be the stain on his name, regardless. I've seen the videos, like Bill says on Twitter, left and right. The fact that Joaquin likes to say that Mbappe came out and said it, but he did watch the video when Vinny runs to the ref. Mbappe was like confused, like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Yeah.
But supposedly he heard it. That's a joke. And like there's other stuff, right? I don't know. I'm not going to condone racism at all. I'm against it. I'm not for it. Like I said, if he said it, he should be off the team. Should be off the. Like I wouldn't even like. He should be out. Period. Point blank. Like I think Joey said it on his thing.
Yep.
My opinion. I'm gonna kind of stay neutral. I don't know because obviously you're not gonna know what was said. Vinny's had past experiences in this in the past. It's sad. I don't, like I said, I'm kind of lost for words on what exactly happened and transpired in those 10 minutes that we saw. I'm not big on the excessive celebration, but I also don't think that he kind of like, I know he got the fans going, but to be honest with you, it's a celebration. I don't give a shit if he celebrates like the way he wants to. Like it is what it is. You could celebrate. If that was Benfica, I would have been pissed that my guy got a yellow card too. I'm just saying that's just my opinion. But the whole thing of what happened between the two players and then the walking off the field and all that, like I said, I don't know what happened. It's very weird that Camavinga wouldn't react. It's very weird that Mbappe would come out and say, yeah, you did it when you obviously didn't hear it. Go look at the videos. You were confused as hell when Vinny was running to the ref.
And then there's video of Mbappe after that in the middle of the game, and you can read his lips. calling Prestiani a
Whatever, yeah.
racist puto or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you like
Stupid. Regardless, stupid. And don't forget to mention what does it matter if he's Argentinian or not? I understand Argentina and Brazil have a backlash, but so does Porto and Benfica, and we don't have to say any of those type of words to each other. But it was an unfortunate incident. I hope that they can get down to it, to the bottom of it. I don't know if they ever will. I doubt it. But it's funny that everyone's like, oh, he's a coward for covering his mouth. How many fucking players on the field on the regular basis will fucking start talking like this?
Dude, even the coaches do it.
Talking like, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, shut the fuck up. Like, these are the type of comments. I think someone mentioned, like, Henry came out and said, I get it. The black players, they face them, depending on what country they go to or depending on where they are in the world, they probably hear some shit that they shouldn't hear. In reality, it's racism. It's not right. It shouldn't be on the field, period. But again, don't come out and say he's a coward everyone covers their fucking mouth. It doesn't matter if it's after a goal or saying, like, how many times I saw Barreiro and Prestiani fucking talking like this. If Barreiro thought he was a racist, why would he go talk to him? Like, why would Prestiani even speak to a black guy on his own team? I don't know. To me, I don't know what happened, but I just think if you find out that he actually did, yeah, get him off the team. But regardless, even if he didn't, his name is stinks. No matter what, people are gonna Prestiani, that's the guy that called Vinny. I'm not gonna say the word, but he called him that Vinny, that racist word that he said. But again, we'll never know the truth. The people that know the truth is those two, and maybe Cavigna, because he was probably there to hear it. But I agree. I've heard what Mourinho said. I agree with a lot of what he said. The people that saying that Benfica directors need to come out and say, no, Mourinho, I think, spoke for Benfica, clear, spoke very perfectly for him, for the team. So I'm content right now. I'm not happy. I don't like how the fans reacted towards the end of the game. I don't condone that, throwing shit into the field and throwing shit at players. That's something that we also need to nip in the butt. I was very disgraced a little bit on when that shit was happening, because we are bigger than this shit. Like, we are, if we want to be considered, and I think we are a big club, then we shouldn't be doing this stupid shit. Our fans should know what respect is, and obviously I get it. The player gets amped up, but that's the whole point of the a game. You go to a basketball game, you go to a football game, the fans, they boo the crap out of you, and those players are going to give it right back to the fans. It's just how it is, man. It's just that's the whole fun of the game of soccer or any sport.
Yeah, it's I have a lot of opinions on what happened. To start on some of the comments, I mean, the excessive celebration, right? Joaquin's talking about go play FIFA, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a celebration, right? And then there's being an antagonist and an instigator. And there's no one that can watch what happened after that goal and honestly say that was just a celebration. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you can honestly sit there and tell yourself that his celebration was just a celebration, and the going back after the ref spoke to him and doing what he did with his jersey, he's clearly doing that to get a rise out of the fans. That's not a celebration. His celebration was he went to the corner flag, he danced to the corner flag, whatever. Okay, people want to be pissed about that. You can be pissed about it, right? You're entitled to have your own feelings in that moment. That's one thing. But what happened after that is Vinny being Vinny that everyone knows, unfortunately, because Vinny's got two faces, unfortunately. Vinny has all the tools in his locker to be the best. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got flair, he's got technical ability, he's got goal, he's got everything. The one thing he's missing is a brain between his ears. He's very emotional. He doesn't have a level head. And in that moment, he showed it again. He did what he did to get a reaction out of the fans, plain and simple. And and if you sit there and tell me that he didn't, I'll respect your opinion, but you're not being honest with yourself. And I'm not saying Joaquin keeps saying excessive celebration. I'm not saying that he had an excessive celebration. What I'm saying is he celebrated. The referee went over and spoke to him, and then he continued to get a reaction out of the fans. Point blank, period. Exactly. That's exactly what he was looking for, and he got exactly what he was looking for. Now, like you guys said, Prestiani covered his mouth. If you had to ask me, if you had a gun to my head and made me think or made me answer, do you think he said, Vinny, that was a really nice goal? I'm going to tell you, nope, didn't say that.
No
do you
chance.
think he said, hey, you want to have a glass of wine after the game? Nope, I don't think he said that either. Okay. Did he say something he shouldn't have said? 1,000%. Did he make a racial comment? I don't know. Did he call him a homophobic term? That's also been said on social media. I don't know. Okay. Only Prestiani knows what he said. Vinny, I'm assuming, knows what he said unless he misunderstood him. Camavinga was close enough to maybe have heard what he said. Mbappe was not fucking anywhere close to him. I was looking at videos before we came on live. Vinny takes about 3 to 4 strides towards the referee before he got close to where Mbappe was. So this whole Mbappe coming out after the game and saying he said it 5 times. I heard him, and he also said there's Benfica players that heard him. You're full of shit because you weren't close to him. So if he said it that loud, yeah, a lot more people would have heard him, and you would have had a reaction, I'm sure. But you didn't have a reaction. Camavinga didn't have a reaction. Only Vinny came over and said that he made that comment. Now, regardless of what happened, like you guys said, if he made a racial slur, then he should get fined. He should get suspended because there's no room for that in society. There's no room for that amongst our day-to-day, let alone on a football field. Okay. On top of the fact that you represent a club who some of their biggest idols and legends of that club came from Africa. You've got a locker room of players that dress up with you every day in training that are of African heritage, right? So if you're going to be stupid enough and immature enough to make a comment like that, then you do deserve to be suspended, to be fined, and have the book thrown at you because it's stupid for a variety of reasons. But again, unfortunately, we're not going to know what the truth is in this situation. Now, before we came on live, Prestiani did post about the situation. He posted it in Spanish, but I'll translate it into English. He said, I basically want to calm everyone down and state that I didn't make any racial slurs or comments towards Vinny Jr., who I think unfortunately misinterpreted what I said. I am not racist, and it's unfortunate the threats that I received from Real Madrid players. And Benfica reposted that and said, Juntos ao teu lado. Again, it's a he said, she said situation. Vinny said he said this. Prestiani said he said that. We're never going to get to the end of it. But unfortunately, that ruined the game. It ruined the game. Could potentially ruin a career. So there's a lot of things that are in play here. And Mourinho said it after the game. And this is one of the things that I said. And again, I'm not condoning racism. This is a constant scenario with Vinny. And it goes back to what I said about not having a brain between his ears. How many times does this happen? And there have been times where it's clear, cut, and dry. People are being racist. People are throwing inflatable bananas. People are throwing inflatable monkeys at it. Like that is, and those people should be picked out one by one, kicked out of the stadium, and should never be able to enter a sporting event again. But this is constant with him. Like, and it just seems odd to me that of all the players in the world that are of color, that might be the LGBTQ plus community that have come out openly, he seems to be always the one in the fucking spotlight. Always. I mean, how many times have we seen this in the last 2 years with him? Like, it's constant. And again, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, because I have zero doubt in my mind that it happens, because there's shitty people out there. I've sat, when I went to go watch Real Madrid Benfica, the 4-2 game 3 weeks ago, there were people behind me that were making stupid fucking comments like, "Hey, Vinny," in Portuguese, "Hey, Vinny, I got to take a piss. Why don't you come over here and open your mouth?" Like, shit like that. And it's like, if you walked by someone in the street, would you make that comment to someone? You wouldn't. You know why? Because you can make that comment here, because you know he's not going to come over and fucking slap you in the mouth like he should, because you feel invincible, because you feel protected, right? So I want to transition to that, into the fans, because the fans also play a big part in this, because you start throwing shit at players, you start throwing bottles, then I have people that were in the stadium that confirm that people were making comments after that, calling him a color, his skin color, making racial comments directed at him because of what happened. That's not right. Right? Whatever happened between them happened. Whoever's right or whoever's wrong, we don't know what was said. But it doesn't give you the justification, because you paid for a ticket and you're in the stadium, to make racial comments at him, regardless of you think he fucking made it up or not. It's not okay for you to do that or throw shit at him, which is absurd. Luis took his kid to the game today, 3 years old. First time he's ever been in the stadium. He was born in Spain. His mom's Spanish, his dad's Portuguese. He gets to go watch two of the biggest clubs for each of his countries that he represents. First time in the stadium. And that's what he's faced with. Luis told me he had to leave the field. He had to leave the stadium with his mom in the 75th minute, because the environment was so toxic that he was crying and he didn't want to be there anymore. 3 years old. Like, that's not okay. Again, we need to, and I feel like this is very much a European thing. I don't know if it's a Western European thing, if it's an Eastern European thing, but I feel like we don't see this as much in the US. It starts with the culture, the sports culture and I'm going to speak for Portugal as a whole. The fact that we've got a corner fenced in stadiums for the opposing fans is the start of the problem. You go watch any sporting event in this country, the US, and you've got a fan sitting next to you that's from the opposing team, and you're all commingled. Now, you get the occasional idiot that drinks too much, that doesn't have a head on his shoulders, and there's fights. You're going to have that. You're going to have it inside. You're going to have it outside. There's going to be stupid people everywhere. But the fact that we've got a dedicated area for the opposing fans already sends a message like, we can't be civilized. We can't be civilized. We can't sit amongst each other. What kind of craziness is that? We can't sit and watch a soccer game and be next to each other. And then you run into shit like this because it's so hostile and the culture sucks. And it's like, well, fuck it. Now I'm entitled to call him racial slurs because I'm pissed off at him. I'm going to call him whatever I want. And I'm going to say whatever I want because you know what? I'm entitled. I paid for my ticket and I can say whatever I want because I'm not going to get punished. And everyone else around me is doing the same shit. So fuck it. It's a free for all. And it pisses me off because when I go watch games, it's all around me. You got young kids, older people, filha da puta pra aqui, all the like, guys, it's a fucking soccer game. I want to win just like they want to win. Would you walk down the street and make that comment to the fucking guy standing at the crosswalk next to you? Probably not. Why? Because he's probably going to fucking lay you out. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Why? Because you feel protected. Because they're not going to come and do shit. And it's not right. And the culture's not going to change. It's been like this forever. Right? But at some point, people need to take a step back and be like, I want to win. I like Benfica just like you do. I want them to win titles. I want to be passionate in the stadium. But can't I just be a little bit more respectful of my behavior in a soccer stadium or a sporting event? Because you don't act like that at work. You don't act like that in the street. You don't act like that in a restaurant. But all of a sudden you walk into a stadium and it's like handcuffs are off. I say whatever the fuck I want, when I want. And it just feels like a lot of people go into these sporting events and they just unload all the stress that they have from their day-to-day
weekly frustration.
Literally, it's just like, this is my unfiltered therapy, and I'm just gonna fucking unload and say what I want when I want, and no one's gonna say shit about it because that's just how it is. And I'll finish with this. Unfortunately, in a matter of 3 weeks, Benfica has been talked about across the globe for the best and the worst moments of this sport. 3 weeks ago, we were all over the news because of what happened with that Trubin goal. And today, we are all over the news because of an alleged act of racism on the field. And again, I say alleged because there's no proof. There's no visual evidence. There's just one side of the story and the other side of the story. And unfortunately, we'll never get the one side of the story, which is the truth. We'll never get that, unfortunately. But it pains me to see how we've, in 3 weeks, gone from up here to down here so fast. And it's unfortunate. I know I said a lot. I don't know if there's anything that you guys want to comment on, but I did want to run through some of these comments because I saw them coming in thick and fast. I just didn't want to bring them up because I didn't want to lose my thought process. But as I go through these quickly, do you guys want to add anything to what I just said?
I just want to add one thing because I've been reading these comments, and it's to Joaquin Oliveira, coach. I just don't understand how we can, everything that he's saying is we have to believe Vinny, no matter what. It's because it's happened to him before. It has to be true. No matter what, we have to believe Vinny. No one else. We can't believe anyone else. But we also have to believe Mbappe, but he's lying out of his mouth, lying out of his ass. I just say that I'm not taking sides on either or. I just don't understand how he thinks that we just have to believe Vinny and Prestiani. Just what? Because like he also brought up something about Argentina versus Brazil. Are you mad because you're Brazilian and he's Argentinian and that's the reason? Like I don't know. I just don't understand why coach or Joaquin just has to believe Vinny no matter what. It has to be Vinny, and Prestiani's lying out of his mouth. The fact of the matter is, none of us know. Period. That's what I'm trying to say. None of us know. He's saying that it has to be Vinny. Vinny's telling the truth, which is to me is you're looking at it one way, and to be honest, you're being biased because you're Brazilian, and that's the reason. That's the way I'm looking at it. But as looking at what coach is saying and what he believes is true enough. Like I said, I don't know what happened. I just don't understand how you could pick a side and you have to believe one person, you can't believe the other because no one knows the answer except for those two guys that were there.
Correct. Period. Bill, anything you want to add?
No, not really, dude. This, it just, like you said, it sucks to be the high we were on after that, the first game or the last game of the league with Real, and then for this to happen tonight again. Like I said, it took the air out of the game.
Oh shit, my God! I didn't see that kid.
I haven't caught up yet.
He just started commenting. Any kind of
What's up, brother?
magical night, a European game went out the window, and that story from Luis and his kid fucking sucks, dude. To
be honest,
that hits
that
home.
was probably like, I know that, I mean, obviously the rate, like whatever happened on the field, to me that sucks even worse. Like we have a kid going to the side lose for the first time, watching Real Madrid, the biggest club in his mom's side, Benfica, the biggest club on his father's side, and he sees that shit from our fans, and like that shit bothers me. I feel bad for him and his son especially.
So I'm slowly catching up. Mycon says, I agree with Jason. As a Brazilian, I agree with Vinny. This has happened too many times. So I'm not sure if he agrees with you, Jay, or what side of the fence he's on. He says,
He keeps
dude's
saying
full of
he's like,
drama.
dude is full of drama.
Yeah,
Vinny
Vinny
acts like
acts
it's 1940, and he's like the
1940.
only black player in the world.
Yep. And then Crónicas da Meia Esquerda says, I'll read it in Portuguese, but o futebol deu-lhe o dom de ser dos melhores da sua geração, mas a genética esqueceu-se de lhe dar 2 dedos na testa e pingo de urbanidade. O que vimos na Luz foi o habitual espetáculo de provocador nato, mal mete a bola na rede, decide trocar o futebol pelas macacadas e pelo enxovalho gratuito e estádio inteiro. É fiteiro profissional, deita o fogo, ridiculariza quem o vê e depois, com a proteção da madrasta UEFA e do Império de Madrid, corre a fazer queixinhas de criança. Again, it's not. I don't think there's not enough evidence for you to take a side here.
Yeah.
And again, everyone's entitled to. I get the Brazil versus Argentina, and naturally, probably the Brazilians are all going to side with Vinny because it's happened more. It's happened in the past, and you're Brazilian and Cristiani's Argentinian. Like, put that aside. Put that aside. What, apart from one person's accusing the other, what evidence do we have that Cristiani said what's said is being said? Or why should we believe Vinny and not believe Cristiani? Again, I get it. He covers his mouth. If Otamendi, when Vinny covers his mouth, if Otamendi goes to the ref and says he called me a homophobic term, what happens then? Do we say Otamendi's telling the truth because Vinny covered his mouth? Like, it's just this constant he said, she said battle. And I feel like we're creating something with not enough evidence.
I just don't understand how you could pick a side if
that's what I'm saying.
No one knows the answer. Like, you have to believe Vinny because there's so many claims. What? Like,
yeah, Maicon says here, Vinny has way too many claims of this, and a lot of them don't have proof. That's exactly what I'm getting at. Is it happens so often, and there have been cases where it's clear cut and obvious where people are being racist. You can hear it from the fans. You can hear it from the players. You can see it, a gesture. There's inflatable monkeys being thrown up from the crowd. Those are the clear cut ones where it's like 1,000%. It's not accepted. It shouldn't be accepted, and it's not okay. And it should be acted on. In this case, and it has nothing to do with me being Benfica fan. We've all said it here, the three of us. I don't care who the hell it is. If it's a Real Madrid, if it's a Benfica, if it's a Aroca, I don't care. If you're racist, it doesn't fit in the game. It doesn't fit in our society. It's 2026. Grow the fuck up. If you can't deal with the fact that someone's a different color than you, came from a different background, came from a different country, is poor, is rich, is purple, is green, likes dogs, likes cats, like women, like, who the fuck cares? Is it a threat to your life? No. Then get over it. It's 2026. But again, in this situation, there is not a proof that what is said was said. And unfortunately, we don't have the truth, and we'll never have the truth. Can you pick a side?
Mike,
absolutely.
Mike, just one thought. Like, how, since you're right, like, since Joaquin mentioned, I keep going back to him because, like, his comments are it's kind of like bothering me a little bit because he is just so one-sided. We have to believe Vinny, this and that, and I just don't agree with that one bit. But he mentioned earlier, Brazil and Argentina don't like each other, right? What if, hypothetical, Vinny made it up? What if he made it up because, Brazilians don't like Argentinians? Like,
that's a fair point as well.
Maybe he did say, "Hey, want to grab dinner?" Maybe he did say, and he's looking at, "Fuck you, man! I'm gonna go tell the ref." Look, I'm not trying to make a joke out of it.
But it's true.
I just don't understand. I can't wrap my head around how we have to believe Vinny. Like, I have to believe him. I have to believe him because he accused the guy. How many times have people accused someone of something else and it end up not being true? Like, it happens. I just think that, in my opinion, I don't know what happened, but there's possibilities that he misunderstood what Cristiani said to him. I really think, I really don't know, but I just don't understand how I have to believe in it because it's happened to him a million or a few times in the past couple of years. I just don't understand that.
Correct.
I just think that like a possibility could be they were going back and forth. They didn't like each other. He's Argentinian. He's Brazilian. You know what? I'm going to go tell the referee. Like, that could be a possibility. That's all.
Correct. Micon says, also keep in mind, Vinny's a major shit talker on the field, and I think anytime someone says something to him, he just says, oh, he called me a racist slur. Again, it goes back to, I think I said Vinny's got all the tools in the shed to be the best. There's no doubt about that. But again, he lacks that emotional stability, and he's proven it time and time again. Again, that doesn't mean that I'm not saying he's making it up. No one's saying that. But again, there's nothing obvious apart from, if you want to make this a Brazil versus Argentina scenario, have at it, right? I mean, Joaquin says, you don't have to believe it. I do right now. And that's fine. No one's telling you that you shouldn't believe A, B, or C. I think what we're just saying is there's not enough proof to say Prestiani is racist and made a racial comment. And there's not enough proof to say to say Vinny Jr. made it up. There's not enough proof on either side. Can you pick a side? 1,000%. No one's stopping you. You're entitled to have your own feelings. You're entitled to pick a side as you choose. But to call someone racist is bold, right? It's a huge accusation, especially if you don't have proof. Vinny can make that comment because he heard what he heard, whether he heard it right or wrong. I think for us as fans to take a side, right? It would be easy for us to come up here. I'm not a fan of Vinny. I'm personally not a fan of Vinny. It would be easy for me to come up here and just be like, Vinny's full of shit. I don't believe him. Right? I don't believe either, because I don't have enough evidence to say Cristiani said it, didn't say it, and I don't have enough evidence to say Vinny's lying, right? They know what happened. We're never going to know what happened, unfortunately. Let's see. Oscar's still being mad of excessive stuff. Like, you're
trolling.
You're just digging, and you're not even like making the argument anymore. You're just making comments that don't make sense.
He's making stupid trolling comments. That's what
Rui says, I remember Danny Alves was about to take a corner kick while he was playing for Barcelona, and a fan threw a banana on the field, and Danny picked up the banana, took a bite, and then took
like Sevilla. He was against Sevilla, I think.
Yeah,
I remember the game. I just don't remember who it was.
But yeah, I do. He picked it up.
Was it wrong from the fan? Yes, but Danny took it with grace and moved on. And Danny was always a hothead. Hey, I'm almost as dark as Danny Alves. Again, there's been plenty of situations where there've been people throwing bananas and they've eaten it. And again, everyone reacts differently, right? There's not a blueprint. Vinny can act one way. I could act another way. Somebody can make a comment to me and make the same comment to Bill and Jay, and they may react differently than me. Right? There's not a blueprint to how you should react in certain situations. But again, it is what it is. Joaquin says, Mike Schock, you're not a fan of him. That's surprising. I mean, I'm not sure what that comment means. Is it because I'm Portuguese and he's Brazilian? Like,
maybe. Hey, relax.
I'm not sure what that means.
Relax.
But I'll accept it. Again, it's indifferent to me. I don't like him because of his personality on the field. I literally just said he's got all the tools to be the best. He's
Neymar 2.0. I don't like Neymar either.
He's everything.
I wouldn't say he's not as good as Neymar, but
yeah, but
he's got all the tools. He's
better.
Tools. I don't think he's better than Neymar.
I think he's better overall than Neymar. He just doesn't have a fucking brain. I think he's not
better than Neymar. Neymar is nasty.
Let's see what else. I just gotta vet these before I read them, just because I don't want to cause any chaos. Let's see. We'll likely never know the absolute truth of what was whispered in the heat of the moment, but the theater of the absurd doesn't need a script, and the protagonist is a professional provoker. I don't need to read the rest of that.
He's just real calm down guy. Like, Joaquin, you're the one, coach. You're the one that needs to calm down. You're the one that's writing 20 comments at a time over here.
Let's see. Don't forget, Vinny comes from a country with a tremendous reverse racism situation. Just got mentioned what happened with Luis Costa a couple of weeks ago. I get at you. Yeah, he did make a comment, and then he had to come back publicly and state or kind of pull back his comment. Oscar, this is like the 20th time in just a couple of years he's made these claims. Jonathan Neef, welcome in. I agree with Mike on Vinny's a top 10 player easily. I don't in any way agree with the racial comment. If true, rest of the year suspension from him and fine. If you watch La Liga every weekend before games, he taunts fans, talks shit to players, starts most of his problems on his own. It's hard to defend Vinny when he instigates a lot. He lacks maturity. I mean, this exactly is what we've been talking about. Again, but not taking away the fact that if it happened, it's wrong.
Yep.
Right? I think we can all be level-headed and be an adult and say this is there for everyone to see. Right? Jonathan's not a Benfica fan. He could easily be like,
he's not Portuguese.
I'm on Vinny. Yeah, and he's not Portuguese. So I wonder what could be. I wonder if Joaquin is surprised that Jonathan made this comment. I wonder why he's surprised.
Calm down, Joaquin. Calm down.
But I think this pretty much sums it up pretty well, right? Neef is a Vinny hater, as Joaquin said. Again, like, it has nothing to do with hating. I think we've all acknowledged that Vinny, talent-wise, is an absurd. Like, if you're a fan and you can be rational, I think we can all sit here and say he's got incredible quality. But that doesn't come into this situation. It has nothing to do with quality on the field, with the ball, scoring goal. Like, has nothing to do with that.
Mike, I have a question too. Yeah. What makes those comments that Mbappe said to Prestiani, calling him like a racist boot or whatever? How is that any better either as well? Like,
it's not.
I mean, I know it's not the word. It's not the word, but it's
correct.
Also
like you're accusing someone of being racist based on what your teammate said to you. Because,
so in my opinion, if like, you know, that was probably in that you could see blatantly, like on camera, that he didn't cover his mouth. We saw it, we heard it. He definitely said that. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted, it just popped in my head, and I was like, let me just say it out loud.
No, it's fair. And again, there's a lot of, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot that's going to come out of this in the media over the next couple of days. We play them again in Madrid next week, and I wanted to just jump into that. Do you guys think it would make sense for Mourinho to protect a 20-year-old and not play him at the Bernabeu?
I wouldn't even bring him there, to be honest with you. I probably wouldn't even bring him there.
I don't know, dude. The Madrid fans they don't all love Vinny.
I don't watch Real Madrid, so I don't know what their relationship is. But one thing, hold on, before you go, Bill, one thing to note is Prestiani has also shown that he could be a hothead.
He's a hothead.
South American blood, despite him being 20, he's had some stupid challenges and some stupid plays, which going into an environment like that, it could either
play in his favor or it ruins. Yeah.
Correct. Or he could fucking just unravel 5 minutes in and get sent off and fuck the team over, right? So I'll stop there. Back to you. Do you think Mourinho should and will protect him based on everything that's going to happen?
So, like I was saying, I don't know if you necessarily have to, and Maicon touched on it too. Madrid fans don't love him like they had like Ronaldo and Kroos and Modric. Like he's not like a fan favorite with everyone. Like a few games ago, he came out for warm-ups and they were booing him, Linsos Blancos to him, Bellingham, and it might have been Mbappe too. There were a few of them before they sacked Xabi Alonso. These Madrid fans are not sold on this team and sold on some of these players, and Vinny's one of them. But I could see Mourinho leaving Prestiani at home with all because it's just going to get more news coverage, and it's going to be talked about in every presser, every question to everyone is going to be this situation. So I mean, I could see them leaving him back in Lisbon, kind of taking him out of the spotlight for a little bit. I mean, you have to remember this kid's just 19, 20. Like
20.
Like it's not going to be an easy thing for him to deal with. And unfortunately, we have to look at not just the game. You have to look at the players, and Mourinho has to think about next season as well,
Correct.
like the career of this player. And you could bring him, and if the environment's too hostile and he, like you said, he gets too hot-headed and goes in and makes a stupid tackle and gets sent off, like this incident plus the sending off, like it could be a huge snowball for a super young kid.
Yeah, Joaquin says only fans that like Vinny in Brazil are Flamengo fans. Now it's my turn. I'm not surprised. Did he come from Flamengo? I don't even know where
I
he
don't know
came
where
from
he
in
came
Brazil.
from. I don't remember.
Is he a youth product? Joaquin can tell us. But yeah. Jonathan says, I just don't understand why it's only him, not Rodrigo, Camavinga, etc. Yeah, I don't. Jay, do you think he will? Oscar says he doesn't think Prestiani is mature enough to go there and not get a red. I agree with him.
I agree
Maicon
with
says
that.
he did come Flamengo, so I guess that makes sense why they like him.
I personally don't think he goes. I think that he protects the kid overall. I think that it's going to be a complete shit show over there. I don't know how the fans are going to react. I don't watch too many Real Madrid games overall, but I mean, if I was the kid, I would want to play. I'm just saying. I'd be like, no, fuck that. I want to play. I want to prove to these people that yada yada yada. But I personally think Mourinho, with our team being a little bit healthier, getting some of the guys back that we've gotten back, I think he kind of tells the kid, like, look, you're going to sit this one out. We just don't want anything bad to happen to you or anything to make you lose your confidence or whatnot. Just like, let's just sit this one out and see where the team goes. And that's just my opinion. I wouldn't throw the kid there. But I mean, if I was him, and which I think he wants to play, I'm sure he wants to. I'm going to sure he's going to be pissed off if Mourinho doesn't bring him. But then again, Mourinho could be like, you know what, fuck it. Let's go over there and let's go play with. I mean, I don't know, but I think that he sits or rests him or leaves him that back home for this game.
Yeah, he definitely he worries me because he's shown that he's capable of making some irrational decisions. Tony Martinez says he's still a professional. If the team needs him, he has to play. I agree with that, right? And like we said, I think this can work two ways. It could either go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. Flamengo sucks just because the coach worked out. Get him going a little bit.
Yeah, it could work both ways. I think Mourinho of everyone, I think Mourinho from a mindset perspective will know how to play this right. He's been around the block a few times, and he's going to know from a mental perspective where is he at, right? Is he at a spot where you can tell he's affected by it in a negative way and it's going to hurt the team? Or is he taking this in stride in the sense of like, fuck that, right? Like I know what I said. It wasn't that. And I want to go and help the team and prove that, I am who I am and I'll let, what I do on the field speak for itself. I think it's going to be an interesting decision. Kronika said, personally, I'd much rather see a more dynamic attack with Rafa exploding down the left, Sudakov in the middle, creating and linking up play, and Luka Bacchio on the right, tearing things apart with his pace and dribbling. All of them supporting Pavlidis like a king in the center. It would be lethal, more fluid, and far more dangerous than we witnessed yesterday. I do think, and I said this to a friend, Prestiani has improved over the last 6-8 games, but he still lacks the two things that a player at Benfica in that position needs, which is goals and assists, and he doesn't have enough of those, unfortunately. Again, he's 20 years old. Hopefully that comes with time and experience, but he's not giving us enough assists or goals, and we need that. And I think Luka Bacchio being healthy, he is more direct. He can go at defenders. He has goal in him, so he could be an option to come in. But again, we'll find out next week on what Mo decides to go with. Let me just see some of these comments.
Coach, we don't watch Brazilian soccer. I'm sorry, buddy.
Says Oscar has a Flamengo shirt. I agree with Tony. If I were Jose, I would play him. Jonathan says best coach in the world. Jose will know. Let's see what else. Get him mental counseling before the game and put him out there. He has a point to prove now. He does. Let's see how Mourinho decides to act on this. Not to forget, Mourinho won't be on the bench as well, so he can't.
Which is the biggest fucking that pisses
yeah.
me off.
I agree. I think that's a big loss for us. I think he can't be in the locker room pre-match and during the match, but he can be after the match. But we also seen Mourinho when he was at Chelsea. They wheeled him in the fucking clothing cart and shit.
He was inside the dirty laundry bin.
Yeah, and they wheeled him in. and he gave his fucking
Yep.
team speech, and they wheeled him back out. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he is in the locker room in some way, shape. I mean, he could be over a Zoom as well. So, I mean, there's other technologies that he could do. Ricardo Nuno Freire says Cristiano will play a game in Bernabeu. What's the problem? He must play. And after what Mbappe said, he must play. Again, it could work both ways. Be curious to see how this plays out. But safe to say, there's going to be a lot that's going to happen between now and next Wednesday. But time will tell. Quickly to close this out, do you think we have a chance, Jay?
No.
If
I'm being brutally honest, I mean, I'm always gonna believe the day of. I'm gonna have my shirt. I'm gonna believe. I'm gonna until the final score. But if I'm thinking with my head, I don't like the whole Mourinho not being on the bench is really what makes me say no.
Okay, but that could also work. Play devil's advocate here. That could also work in favor of the team and be like, "Fuck that! Our coach got a red card. Fuck you. We're gonna win."
Next Wednesday, I'll be rooting for Benfica, but if
all right, Bill, Oscar gives us a 20% chance.
I would say the same thing. I would say like a
20%. Okay, Bill, what's your percentage meter look like?
Yeah, it's low. I had said I think last week or the week before when we touched on the draw, I think we needed the result at home to go in on a high away to fight for a draw type of thing away. Now having go to the Bernabeu and need to go after a result, it's tricky because even on their off day, they can it takes 2 seconds and those guys, Vinny can put one in the back of the net and Bobby can put back one in the back. Like they didn't have Bellingham today. Like he can put one in the back and they have so many talented players.
But nonetheless,
oh, that's right. He's out injured.
Their midfield today, I think there's not many teams. There's not many teams in the world that have 3 horses like they had today in the midfield.
Yeah.
Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Valverde. Those are 3 monsters.
Yeah.
In that midfield.
Yeah. So I mean I'll go with 20%. That's the high end for my belief. Because
what'd you say? 20?
Yeah, that's the high end. I'll go with that.
All right, so you're all on 20%.
Well, you're gonna go higher? You got some hope.
Listen, it's 1-0, right? I would have liked to go there with a win. I would have liked to go there with a draw. But if there's ever been a manager,
I know,
that is capable of pulling this shit off, and I say this in the sense of over the 2 games that we've just played them, I thought we were far better than them in the first time we played them. Far better. Like in that game, we proved that we could create chances, and if we were just slightly more efficient, we could have scored 5 goals on the night. Easy. Now, the Madrid that played that game and the formation that they played with and the formation that they played with today, 2 very different things. Now, Benfica has proven to us in those 2 games that they are capable of creating chances. Like Bill said, Real Madrid also has the quality to, from nothing, connect 3 passes and fucking put it in the back of the net, right? Like that goes without saying because they have elite quality. Now, 1-0, I would say 33%. I think we have a third.
And the away goals don't count anymore too. So that's
correct. Exactly. So I think we have a chance, but I think because of what happened, if we can hold the result, if we don't concede in the first 20 minutes, I think we have a chance. If we concede in the first 20 minutes, I'm afraid that we're going to get fucking smashed.
Destroyed. I mean, dude, to be honest, without that fucking goal, this game could have been easily 0-0. Like,
1,000%.
It was an unreal fucking goal that day.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Unfucking real. And then their goalie came up with some big saves. Our goalie came up with some big saves. So, like you said, both games, if I were to pick a team between these last 2 games, I would choose Benfica. I would think Benfica is the better team. Just the way that they played in both of those games. I thought Benfica had some moments this game, and last game, I thought, like you said, we dominated. Not dominated, but we played a lot better than they did.
Correct.
But this is going to be
every game's different.
different atmosphere. I hope Mourinho comes up with some changes. I think you do need in my opinion, we do need to mess around with our midfield a little bit. I don't think you can go there with Redo and Freddie.
I think Rio starts 1,000%.
I think Rio starts too. We got to bring some height into that team,
and he gives you some muscle.
Yeah, and so these guys won't get pushed around. And then it all depends on what Mourinho does with the rest of the team. I do think that we are going to see a different team in Madrid.
I think we will too. I think there'll be some changes. Quickly close this out. Pedro says, I say we win with a goal in the last minute from Anizio, our secret weapon. Man, that would be fucking... Imagine that kid scores another banger.
You surprised? Did we just run out of substitutions or when we were... I'm surprised you didn't come in.
We used 1, 2, 3, 4 subs. We didn't use another one.
Yeah, but you can only do those 4 subs in
3 stops.
Like 3 stops. So
we only used 2. 74th minute and then the 80th. Lopes Cabral and Lukovac came in together. Yeah. But I think at a certain point, Mourinho was more set on let's go there and give ourselves a chance rather than expose ourselves here and go there 2-0. Like those are the things where like, okay, this is halftime, right? Do we want to fucking blow the gates off right now and be fucked when we go there? Or do we want to go there with a fighter's chance to potentially fight for the result? Ricardo says Ajax lost 2-1 in Amsterdam, and at the Bernabeu they won 4-1. Again, every game's different. We can go there and get fucking
stacked.
Yeah, but we can go there and get slapped in the mouth. We could go there and pull a rabbit out of a hat. Like you just don't know. Rui says, Mike, it's time to sit Paulides for a game or two and start an easy with Rui. Stop, dude. Kid's 17 years old. He scored.
You think I ate a lot of edibles? You right now.
I can't stand when people. Me and Bill talked about this last week. Like, guys, let's pump the brakes and be rational. The kid's 17 years old. Let's let him develop. Don't be throwing the kid to the wolves. And if you want to say, let's put Pavlidis on the bench and give Ivanovic a chance. Okay, I can align with that. Although they're 2 different type of players, but. To skip over and say let's start an easy from the start because he's played. What did we say last week, Bill? He played like 20 minutes.
20. I think it was like 26 minutes. I think in total.
Guys, stop the madness, please stop the madness. My mom says Benfica is going to go there and win. I'm talking about. Joaquin says Rio's such an amazing player from Palmeiras. How can he not even start games in the moment?
He does start.
He does.
He's been hurt.
He was hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Too busy trolling people in the comments.
You're too busy looking at what Vinny says.
Yeah, he is 18. Sorry, he turned 18 on Sunday. I apologize. But I still think he shouldn't start.
And signed his new contract.
He did sign his new contract, yeah. Madrid defensively is so inconsistent. We have a chance. I agree. They're going to give up chances.
I think their big difference from the first game was Rudiger today.
Correct. He's also a monster.
He's a fucking monster, dude.
Yeah.
Just
physically, he's got pace. He's strong.
He's a weirdo too. He's tapped in the head.
But so weird. Yeah, he's definitely
a beast.
An odd character. But he's a good player. All right. We got 128 minutes, almost 90-minute podcast. But we didn't have any like 12-minute stoppages, so we don't have any stoppage time today. I want to thank everyone that was in the comments for partaking in this and for the most part keeping it clean and civil. I didn't put all the comments up on the screen. One, because I didn't have enough time to vet them all, but I appreciate everyone joining the conversation. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this live. If you're on the other social media platforms, leave a like, follow, share, subscribe, do all those fun things for us. It takes you 5 seconds, doesn't cost you any money. And it helps us reach a lot more people. We will be back. We play IFS this weekend, which should give us the ability to rotate some players. And then we're at the Bernabeu next Wednesday in a do or die match that promises to be a lot of things. Emotional, well played, hopefully. There's going to be a lot of shit at stake in that game. A lot. So hopefully we can stay composed. Hopefully we can come away with another epic victory. Rui says, bring back video commenting. I'm assuming you're talking about joining the podcast and jumping in and sharing your thoughts. We could do that. We could do that next week. How about that? You join us here next week on Wednesday and we'll put the link and you can jump in. Just make sure you have an edible before you come on. comb your hair, and don't start with Anise. You should start. Don't tell me that shit. Unless
You're gonna
Anise
cut
goes
real
in at the
quick.
Bernabeu and scores, do not start with Anise. You should start next week. So there's your invitation. Next week we'll put the link. Wednesday we'll be here live. And if you want to jump in and chat with us, I'll share the link with you. Joaquin says, "Don't
Dude,
celebrate."
I hope Pestiani scores a goal and gives the suck it sign right to Vinny. That would be fucking hilarious. Then you can get a yellow card.
Rui says, "Yes, Queen." Yeah, Pentea Miscabello, dude. If you're gonna come on next week, Pentea Miscabello. All right. So, and we got the party next week, yeah, on Sunday or Saturday. So it would be a nice touch if we pulled this off, and then we've got our party on earlier because I'm old. Listen, we'll get started at 8:45, unless we pull it off, and then maybe we'll start at 8:30. We got kids we got to tuck into bed. So drink an extra coffee, drink an extra espresso, and give you an extra 15 minutes so you can keep your eyes open and you can join us for a little bit. Gentlemen, as always, a pleasure. We'll be back next week. Viva os Benfica, and have a good evening. See you, boys.
Take care, boys.
Later, boys.